afternoon. We are going to start our post-lunch first session after lunch, a panel discussion on digital India challenges. We are very fortunate and honored to have the Principal Secretary of the Information Technology and Electronics Department of the Government of West Bengal, Dr. Krishna Gupta with us. Along with him, the other panelists of the session are Shri Nirupam Sen, Business Head East of BSI Group India Private Limited, and Shri Joydeep Bhattacharya, COO Digital, CCG Digital, We also have Mr. R.N. Lahiri, Director of Bhattacharya Engineering College of Techno India Group. And moderating the session would be Shri Shyamal Bhattacharya, ex-CTO, PwC, Director Technoplace Consulting. Mr. Bhattacharya, Shri Shyamal Bhattacharya, is the founder of Technoplace Consulting, having extensive research and design experience as CIO. He is a CISA, CISM and IT&E trainer with speaking assignments in international seminars. He graduated from St. Xavier's College with physics honors and also has a BTech degree in electronics from Jadavpur University with a gold medal. Mr. Nirupam Sen has 17 plus years of ITS related experience and is currently associated with BSI Group. That's the Business Standards Group, British Standards Group. As Business Head East. He heads the operations of BSI in India, Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh. He has extensive know-how in capacity building and auditing of management systems like information security, business continuity, IT service management, risk management and quality management, etc. He has experience in certifications of organizations with worldwide followed best practices and methodologies like ISO 27001, ISO 20000, ISO 22301, ISO 31000, ISO 9001 across all industry verticals. And MBA in systems by profession, he is also a certified lead auditor in ISO 27001, ISO 20000 and ISO 9001. He holds an IBM Advanced Certificate in Software Engineering and is an Assessor Calibration Certificate holder from BSI. May I request Mr. Shyamal Bhattacharya to start the session, please. Would you like to use the podium?
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, I would request our President, Shri Joydeep to felicitate first the Principal Secretary, Dr. Krishna Gupta. Shri Nirupam says next. Shri Joydeep Bhattacharya. Shri R.N. Lahiri. And Shri Shyamal Bhattacharya. So Bhattacharya, now over to you.
I would like to thank the BCCI and BCCI for giving this opportunity to speak in front of this august audience. And it is a sort of real pleasure to have Dr. Krishna Gupta as a part of the panel, and we would like to have a lot of views from him in this session. Before the session starts, the discussion starts, I'd like to give a preview of what the Digital India vision means, so that we are all up to the sort of mark and can understand the deliberations with the right perspective. The Digital India program is a flagship program of the Government of India with a vision to use digital infrastructure as an utility for every citizen. The governance and services to the citizens on demand, digital empowerment of the citizens. It's a program which will prepare India for a knowledge future. It should be transformative in nature. Transformative means it is not only an improvement, but the processes should be transformed. And the focus would be on making technology as the central power for enabling the changes. And a number of projects should be woven together to have a comprehensive vision to get the entire governance restructured. Under this program, there are several pillars. Broadband highways, there is a plan to take fiber broadband to the remotest villages and gram panchayats. Universal access to mobile connectivity. Mobile today will be one of the major media devices which will provide the digital access to the common people, both rural and urban. Public Internet Access Program. The Government of India, along with all the states, are trying to provide free internet access through multiple media, either through broadband cable or Wi-Fi. E-governance. E-governance actually started long back, but then they were small islands. Today, e-governance is being given a new approach where the applications will be integrated to provide a single window sort of a concept where a citizen can get everything through one window, and probably the mobile applications will provide the necessary improvements in the citizen facilities which we expect today. E-Kranti is e-delivery of services. The Government of India, the Government of West Bengal has already started delivering a lot of services through electronics. Information for all. Today, there has to be information available at the click of the mouse or the click of the button of a mobile cell. So information is being arranged in individual states which are relevant to the citizens of that particular state. Electronics manufacturing is one of the key sort of the key elements which is being looked into, because India so far has been importing mostly electronics from outside countries. I understand there is a plan to develop semiconductor wafers in India, and that plan, when done, will bring out a lot of change in the electronics manufacturing industry in India. This will also result in IT for jobs. There is a recent news, I am not very sure about the credibility of the news, but it has come in the internet, that Calcutta is planning to go for ropeways within Calcutta, where there will be transport through ropeways from one end of Calcutta to another end, and initially 2 such ropeways are being planned. If that is the case, people really having an urgent need of transportation from one place to another will be able to do so. Now, to do all this, there are challenges, and these challenges are something which we would like to discuss today. And the first speaker, Dr. Gupta, I would request him to let us know what is being done for the state of West Bengal as a part of Digital India and also as a part of Green India, so that we are all aware what we are expecting from the government of West Bengal, maybe in the near future, and what sort of challenges he feels are there, including the regulatory challenges which we may have to take care of for making Digital India a success. Thank you, and I would request Dr. Krishna Gupta to come and take the podium.
A very good afternoon. First of all, thanks to BNCCI, its president, the office bearers. Also, would like to thank the co-panelists, Shyamal, Bhattacharya, Joydeep, Mr. Lahiri, and ladies and gentlemen. Today is a National Technology Day, I understand. And on the occasion of this day, we are having a panel discussion on challenges arising in the IT space and how we can respond to those challenges to the government. Before we get there, I will just very quickly run through this presentation that will tell you. Okay, just before I start the presentation, this is something that most of you might know, but there has been a division of the IT department into two verticals. One is the IT per se, and ITES, and the other is the e-governance part. The e-governance part was moved to the Personnel and Administrative Reforms Department. So it's been hived off from the IT department, and the IT department now focus on IT initiatives, kind of things that we talked about, digital India, the IT infrastructure, telecom, and so on and so forth. So, what is the infrastructure readiness of the state of West Bengal? This will answer to some extent Mr. Bhattacharya's question on networks. What incentives do we offer to promote the IT industry in the state, and what are the various skill development programs? Within this presentation is embedded some of the transformational ideas that we are proposing. And be a leader within the country in certain areas, very critical areas, and I will come to that. This is the ICT ecosystem of West Bengal. The state has allocated a large amount of funds. In fact, has gone up over the last 5-6 years to school and higher education. A number of ITIs, universities, private universities, and public universities, and schools have been set up. There is an IT skill development plan that we've done along with the Technical Education Department, and you can see the allotments again, 107 US, 107 million US for technical education and training. Microsoft Center of Excellence has been set up, though it is to be operational only this year. They have they had their issues. I understand from a recent meeting with them that they're going to start their operation this year. Telecom, Bharat is to be implemented in 3 phases across the state. Phase 1 is under progress with our 270 blocks. There are other, positives about Bengal, very high literacy rate, major MNCs are here. There is an IT startup action plan with NASCOM, the startup warehouse here, and 35 companies have already been integrated. Again, hardware, ESDM, electronics space particularly, is extremely important, as Mr. Bhattacharya also mentioned, and we are mindful of that, and we are preparing to be ready for demand as and when it comes. We are creating the physical infrastructure. There are 2 electronic manufacturing clusters that we are doing along with Govt of India. One is in Lahiri and one is in Malta. They will be operational by the end of this year, early next year. The work is going on, and once the infrastructure is in place, we will do the market. We will begin the marketing. 12 new IT parks are ready for occupation, 4 in progress, 7 more approved. So essentially, more than 1 million square feet of furnished IT space has been created. Some in not so IT friendly areas for now, but it will become IT friendly in years to come. So we are spreading it across West Bengal, even in low IT districts such as Purulia and Bankura, even in Kuchbihar. So it might be less populated now, but I'm sure in the years to come there will be a lot of demand for such infrastructure. Skills, training and education, certification, skill building and incubation are some of the areas that we are concentrating on. We are working with IIT Kharagpur on setting up a new incubation center in Rajasthan, in the IIT Kharagpur campus that they're going to have in Rajasthan. And we're working again with Govt of India, we're going to prepare the project report and submit to them. Hopefully that will add to the existing infrastructure. There is venture capital support provided to 13 companies. Incentive benefits will be given to about 24 crores. ICDS school covers 5,500 plus schools. 1,000 more schools are to be covered this year. Another, I was talking about transformation initiatives that are being planned. These are some of them, and this is something that some of you know about, but this is something that is going to grow and will be critical. The Cyber Security Center of Excellence is something that we are brainstorming on. It's on the drawing board, but this is something on the cards. National Institute of Data Sciences, again, data science, big data has become extremely important. We are working with the leading data scientists in the country to set this up from the IT department, maybe as a collaborative venture with the Govt of India, maybe on its own. But this is something that is on the top of our list. We will introduce courses in cybersecurity and data science and education institutions. A design and innovation hub is on the cards. An IT startup ecosystem I already talked about, and a skill development action plan. Kalani Analytics City is being developed by the Urban Development Department, but I don't know the latest. These are the incentives. Many of you know about these incentives. What are the incentives for both the hardware and electronics industry as well as the software industry? And these are some of the areas on the right hand side which will get incentives. They are getting incentives as they set up these units. And what are the kind of incentives? Well, an eligibility certificate is needed, and feasibility report, and we've actually simplified it to a great extent. And I say that with authority because it is even more simplified than in the industry department where I used to be just before I joined the IT department. And when I came and saw the process, I was pleasantly surprised. Actually, very simple to apply for IT unit to apply for an incentive, and you will get to know in a bit. 15% capital investment subsidy is provided, paid by annual installments. IT units are eligible for 100% stamp duty registration fee refund for land purchase requisition, and a 25% interest subsidy and training subsidy. Electricity duty waiver for a maximum of 7 years, up to 50% reimbursement to startups, along with employment generation subsidy, up to 50% subsidy, with a cap of 0.2 million for patent registration and quality certification. These are the subsidies that we give, and there is very little dependency in the IT department. State capital investment subsidy, interest subsidy, and so on. We share this presentation. Some of the skill development programs, skill development center of excellence for next generation technologies. We already allotted some space for this. Partnerships with top priority training partners for post design. Training to 30,000 students over the next 2 years, and 15 technical courses will identified. That's in short a presentation, but let me also elaborate a little bit on this and respond to some of the specific things that Mr. Bhattacharya spoke about. The IT industry is actually facing a lot of challenges at this moment, and the most obvious challenge is the US question. That said, it doesn't mean that there are no opportunities. There are opportunities galore at the global level, at the national level. In fact, domestically, the business is still growing. Exports have slowed down a little bit, but domestically, the IT industry is still growing. And domestically is growing primarily because, perhaps, and this is a study that needs to be done, because of the boost from the central and state government IT initiatives. I'm sure many of you are interested in what it is that the private sector needs to do. One very simple, interesting fact that's come out of these brainstormings is that Indian IT industries don't move up the value chain very fast. They fall behind. But there are too many challenges. And there are in our neighborhood in Southeast Asia. And the other big challenge and the big question is the employment question. What is the employment intensity of IT spend? So if there is an IT firm setting up a huge, 1,000 crore project or something, what is the kind of employment it's generating? When I used to work in Govt of India, I used to actually negotiate on behalf of Govt of India for services, and IT and IT&E is usually one big component of services which was. At that time, I was convinced that IT&E will be a panacea for India's growth because we were bypassing the technological or the infrastructure bottlenecks that are needed to set up a world-class manufacturing base. But having worked in industry for the last 5 years, I think services cannot replace manufacturing in sheer numbers of employment potential. And that is something that we need to really catch on to. And the national manufacturing policy is actually mandated that our manufacturing should grow 25% of GDP. That doesn't mean that it's bad news for services, because if manufacturing grows, services will grow. Services get embedded into manufacturing. There will perhaps be new services and new information technology solutions as manufacturing grows. Things like electric cars will have huge IT components. So modern manufacturing will also have major IT composition components. But for 8, 9, 10% growth, you can't run it from manufacturing. And it's not going to be easy. Digital India, I think there was a question on what state government is doing. We're doing a lot of things that the National E-Governance Project is doing. E-Office, Integrated Financial Management Systems, HRMS, the Digital Locker. For industries, we have an online single window for incentives through the SSBT gateway. More specifically, there are many applications that the IT department is taking up for other government departments, such as the soil health card that Rebel prepared for the agriculture department, telemedicine projects that we've done for the health department, training in schools. I mentioned that in my presentation. In transport, there was an application done which allows a commuter to track which bus is where, and that is called. We did it with our friends in the transport department. In hospitals, again, the new clinical establishment act, the website for grievance redressal was prepared by us. So we have done a fair amount of projects for various departments, and we will continue to do so. Regulatory challenges is something that we will have to grapple with as we go along, but at the moment, I think it's a fairly friendly environment. I mean, if you look at what's happening in Europe and the US, the IT environment in India is fairly business-friendly. And last point, networks, broadband. There is the national optic fiber network that is being undertaken. I'm sure once the phase 1, phase 2 takes off, there will be no problem of connectivity, even in tier 2 and tier 3 cities and block headquarters. You know that the West Bengal State Wide Area Network extends up to block headquarters, and if anybody is interested, they can take a spur from the block headquarters. It could be if it's a private sector IT firm wanting to set up something, they can take connection from the block headquarters. There is a plan to take it up to the GP headquarters. That's part of the National Optical Fiber Network plan, which we are doing around the world. But that's work in progress, and I'm sure Bengal will be at the forefront, particularly the new initiatives and the new areas such as cybersecurity and data science. Very few states are really taken off. I'll stop there.
I'd like to thank Dr. Krishna Gupta for sharing a lot of information with us, what's going on in West Bengal. And I would also request the IT and communication department to have some sort of a process where the citizens of West Bengal are aware of what's happening. It gives us a lot of support, moral support that we are progressing. He has also given a lot of direction in which the employment opportunities can really be better through the industrial growth of electronics. There is a silver lining in the domestic IT, though there are some problems in software exports which are anticipated. We are not very sure. I'd like to finally thank Dr. Shri for this nice presentation and informative presentation. Next, I would request, before that, as we know that the digital India as such is going to bank on smartphones, tabs, wireless, Wi-Fi, IoT, and all these things which are deployed in a smart city. And it is very important that the challenges which are there with these digital media, there are a lot. In fact, while in the urban areas people are educated, they have money, they can buy the right devices. For the rural people, they have problems with languages, usage, and even the problem of purchasing a mobile phone, which is one of the basic media resources for successful digital India. So I will request Joydeep Bhattacharya to tell us something about what precautions one should take while using the digital media, whether it's a smartphone or social media services or IoT.
I'd like to thank the Bengal National Chamber of Commerce for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this panel. Instead of talking too much about the different aspects of digitization, I'd just like to state that digitization is going to be ubiquitous. We have no choice. In every aspect of our life, we are touched by the digital footprint. And it has indeed made life very easy for us in many ways. All of us are aware of that, in the sense that today we can do a lot of banking services sitting at home. We can pay our municipal taxes sitting from home. We can drive our cars much more intelligently in terms of, I'm told that the total digital footprint in any automobile is so intense that you can classify a digital automobile on the road today, an automobile on the road today, as a digital machine. But a challenge in each and every part of our digital footprint is not only cybersecurity, but a few other aspects. Regarding cybersecurity, all of us are nowadays a little aware. We know that what we should do, we know the imminent dangers, we know the danger of nation-state attacks, we know the danger which is faced because of criminal syndicates. We also know that it is very difficult to attribute particular criminal behavior to particular individuals because of jurisdictions which change. You can sit in a remote corner of the world and you can do significant damage to another part where the place where the damage is created would not be even knowing that from where the damage is getting created. Having said all that, there are three major challenges which the entire aspect of digitization has to face today, and the entire world is groping with it. We really don't know how to address it, though significant progress has been made in several areas. The entire thing can be quickly classified as PPP. P for processes, the second P is people, and the third P is technology. Each of these areas are very challenging, and I'm going to just briefly, since I just have 2 or 3 minutes more, I'm just going to briefly touch upon these three areas, where the challenges are. In a country like India, process is just lip service. We are not serious about adhering to processes because, I'm sorry to say, we as Indians, we believe that our intelligence is much more superior than following mundane processes. In a factory, in an IT setup, anywhere, you put a step-by-step process, you'll invariably find that people will come and challenge it. They'll say that why should we follow this process? Why shouldn't we do it more intelligently in this way? This must be a stupid step which has been put into place, and all mundane kind of questions which continually challenges the setup of processes in our country. And the more senior you are in the hierarchy, our sense of entitlement always goes towards bypassing processes. We can see it at our airports, we can see it in our offices. The chief executive officers, the chief operating officers, we believe that processes are meant for people lower down. We must have access to whatever we want. We must be able to shorten the steps which are required. So that is a major challenge in the process of digitization, because digitization requires a certain amount of discipline in terms of following processes. There are several institutions in the country, there are several systems in the country, but I have never heard, as I've said before, or one of my colleagues would have said before, we continually re-emphasize it in each forum, and I've never found a particular institution being failed for not having adhered to processes. Everybody passes. There may be a few points here and there, they are requested to adhere to it, but everybody passes. Everybody is 27001, everybody is ISO 9000, etc., etc. The second thing is technology. In terms of technology, digital technology has got an enormous width and depth today. And it is evolving at such a fast rate that it is a challenge for anyone, no matter how evolved you are in terms of your technological thinking, which to choose, which to reject, what to have, what not to have. This leads to an extreme amount of confusion, which leads to some really, really dangerous situations. All of us are aware in this audience today in terms of the information technology related challenges. By IT, I mean the kind of interactions with computers and networks which we have in our office environment. But there is another very vast area which is not much spoken about, which members of Bengal National Chamber of Commerce should be aware of, and that is automation at the factory level. We have SCADA networks, we have distributed control systems where the entire danger of getting completely upset because of cyber breaches, because of process failures, because of even simple steps which should be taken in order to ensure safety and security are not taken adequate care of. We have had some really serious incidents which have happened worldwide. All of us are aware of how the Iranian nuclear program has come to a complete standstill because of the Stuxnet attack. We know how Syria's national program of nuclear initiative was totally brought to a standstill by Operation Orchard. We also know that how Russia, for instance, used cybersecurity in order to compromise the radar system and the power system of Ukraine in order to do complete devastation without any kind of remedy to that. The third thing, which is probably the most important and where there is a huge shortage of skill, is the people part. The entire range of technology and the entire range of processes have become so complicated and so vast that it leaves open footprints in each and every aspect of our digital life. Now, for the people with a malicious intention, for nation states which want to have strategic kind of windfall over other nations, all that they have to do is to keep on exploring. Whether it is through the operating system, whether it is through applications, whether it is through the network, whether it is through compromised devices, whether it is through devices which have malware embedded in it, the entire scope is enormous. So it is literally extremely challenging for any individual, no matter how great he is in terms of his knowledge of computer science, to combat the entire digital arena with a certain amount of confidence, certain amount of knowledge, certain amount of wherewithal by which adequate protection can be provided. Now, having said that, this is one area where the private sector, the government should all come together and work together in terms of creating an awareness right from school level. I would suggest probably from class 5, 6 level, because all of us know that how intelligent today's kids are in terms of handling electronic devices, be it mobiles or be it laptops or whatever. So the good part has to be also kind of adjusted to the bad part. So in order to make them aware of what they should do, what they shouldn't do, awareness right from the school level is very important. This should be taken up by the government, this should be taken up by private institutions, and then this change should be followed right up to the level of creating simulated environments where you can do different types of attacks on the simulated environment in order to build your skills, because in today's world, cyber attacks are difficult, but it is even more difficult to even find out that you have been compromised. So the important part is that a lot of effort has to be put across the board in terms of developing the right kind of people who can handle both processes and technology. Awareness has to be built up. Significant amount of training layers have to be built up, right from developing a whole cadre of cyber warriors who can defend our national critical infrastructure to the level of kids who are 10, 12 years old, who have started using digital devices with a lot of facility to make them aware that how dangerous it can be. So with that, I'd like to end. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joydeep, for this nice deliberation on what precautions we should take as for the usage of the digital media. Dr. Krishna Gupta, I understand that you are supposed to go somewhere for a meeting. Please let us know when you feel that you have to go. That's in 5 minutes. Okay. Joydeep has told about 2 areas. One is that the area where process and procedures are required, and also the skills are required for the people to talk, to use the digital media. I would also say that the Digital India has also brought in a term called digital divide, where digital India implementation depends on whether it is a rural area or an urban area. If you talk of a rural area, there are problems like literacy issues, the problems are like connectivity issues and all that. To address the literacy issues and skill development, I request Mr. R.N. Lahiri to come across and tell something in this regards.
Thank you, Mr. Bhattacharya. As you know, since morning, we are mostly listening to the technology day and different types of technology, the information technology. Definitely, I think that challenges for the digital India, I think already we have started long back. It is not yesterday or today. 2000 AD onwards, we have started this journey, and by that time the IT policy for ITES and the BPOs for the West Bengal as well as for India, it has happened. In fact, the IT policy got amended in the 2012, and a lot of things are coming out so that we are properly approach that. With the conversion, if you just see the transformation has happened, but it has got its own limitations. If you just see the most of the students, they are coming out from the engineering colleges, they are partially employable, 40%, 50% as per the recent survey and reports. And they are all BTech engineers. So how to approach them? So definitely proper training is required from the very beginning, and the kind of internship is required, which is missing nowadays. And we have to support that from all the industry as well as at the different institute. At the same time, if you just see the diploma holders, almost little better off, but if you just see the class 8 pass, class 10 pass, or the ITI pass, what is the scenario today? Because we need them. The kind of training we do, so we need them from the electronic industry or IT industry or different parts of the industry, because they may not be having that kind of education, but we need that kind of very important part so that they are much more employable, and within a very short time that can happen. If we just see the in and around in West Bengal, a lot of work has been done. I do not know how much you are aware, but I know particularly because I was in IT industry for almost 40 years, and out of that in this years for 25 years before my retirement, I can tell you that is the kind of data center we are having. We have yet to show across the country whether that kind of big data centers, not only Govt of West Bengal for WBACB and other data centers in eastern part. So we have the talented. Nowadays you will find that technology is giving only Java, COBOL and .NET is not going to do. We have to do a new type of training, which is important. And this is a blending. We have the talent, kind of data science, IoT, cloud, all these kind of areas, or 3D printing. These are all new areas students must be addressed, and they must have the minimum training so that after just the way that passing out the college, they are mostly employable. I think with these few words, I think let me conclude because of the time constraint. I think let me conclude here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Krishna Gupta, for coming here and spending your valuable time. The last part of this further deliberation, we have been hearing about smart cities, smart applications, smart IoT devices and everything which is very smart. But as citizens, as people, we are smarter than them to sort of overcome the advantages of the smart elements which we are deploying. I would request Mr. Nirupam to talk about the processes. Mr. Nirupam to tell us something about the processes and the precautions we need to know, and whether the question which was asked earlier, whether the certification is just enough or following the processes is something which is required.
I'm too short for this podium, I suppose. But anyway, thank you BNCCI for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts here. Good afternoon to you all. It's a difficult session definitely because it's after lunch, so I need to keep you all awake. Joydeep has shared that we have been hearing a particular nomenclature since the morning, which is ISO 27001. So can I see hands raised other than the people I know here? How many of you know 27001? It's a detergent? What's ISO 27001?
Seems like a detergent.
No, it's not a detergent, that's a standard. Okay. Now, standards throughout centuries have enabled businesses. If I talk about 27001, that's the international standard on information security. Now, with this Digital India initiative of the Government of India, what is happening is that everything is getting interconnected. So, what is that leading to finally? It is leading to a lot of threats related to cyber security, right? So, if you pick up your mineral water bottles, by the way, you will find a number there which is IS 14543. So, everything is given by a standard, right? That's a standard for packaged drinking water bottles, right? So, if you see that standards are starting points of organizations, how to implement best practices across the organizations. These have enabled businesses throughout centuries. And if I talk about cyber security, there are three standards which are most popularly used worldwide. Number one is ISO 27001, which is Information Security Management System. Number two is ISO 27017, which is a standard on cloud security. The other one is ISO 27018, which is a standard on personally identifiable information in cloud. There's a standard which is also used for cyber security, which is ISO 27032. Joydeep has mentioned that we don't need certifications, etc., but his company incidentally also is ISO 27001 certified. So I'm sure that his company is sincerely following the practices, and incidentally we have also certified their company. It's not that certification always does not help an organization. It happens at times that the customers also insist that you please make us pass the audits. That's because their jobs are dependent on these certifications as well. So we are faced with difficult situations, but you must understand that we are also governed by the accreditation body rules. We cannot flout the rules, and our license will be cancelled, and I will lose my job as well. So what happens is that when we recommend a company for certification, we make sure that we give them certain non-conformities or opportunities for improvement, right? Now these standards, what they do is that they suggest the best practices which you will be able to implement across the organization. So once you get an opportunity for improvement or a non-conformity in your system, you need to send a corrective action plan. So that ensures that you're finally continually improving your system. I'll just explain the generation of standards here a little bit. Standards have started right from the period of 1900s, right, when the manufacturing era started. At that time, what used to happen is that we used to have manufacturing lines, and at the end of the manufacturing line, the product used to be inspected, and if there was a defect, then the product used to be sent back. So that led to a lot of defects. Now, towards the period of 1950s, there came a gentleman named Deming. Who has heard of Deming here? He's a quality guru, right? Deming introduced a concept of PDCA, which is Plan Do Check Act. So what Deming said is that instead of improving the end product, if you're improving the processes that are creating the product, that will finally create the improvement in the product itself, right? This is applicable to also to services that the organizations are dealing with, number one. There was a third generation of standards which started towards the period of 2000s, which was a behavioral period of standards. It was realized that if you're improving your products, if you're improving your processes, even if those two things improve, you will not be finally able to improve if you do not improve the culture of the company, right? This is where three things come in. people, process and technology. So behavior of the people and the culture of the company is very important for a company to succeed. Right. So I would just like to sum it up. Standards are very important. They started right from the period of 1901. Standards are still important because we have 400 sites in India which are ISO 27001 certified. So you understand the importance itself there, right? And maybe we have a few names here which are already 27001 certified by us. And there are new standards coming up on cybersecurity, as I said, 27032, then cloud, there is 27017 and 018, which would be definitely best practices which the companies need to implement so that their systems improve, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Nirupam. One thing I would like to tell is that I have worked for a company when, sometime 10 years back, and there was a certification of the type Nirupam was telling, and I remember that during the surveillance process, I being the auditee, I was told that if you do not take care of this flaws in your processes, your certification would be cancelled, and we were given 3 months to improve the processes. Okay? So the question which was asked in the morning, that whether certification can be cancelled or was cancelled in the first in this process, cancellation is definitely a part of the process, and it is expected that when you get a certification, you have to adhere to the norms, and through surveillance audit, you have to prove that you are continuously adhering to the processes. Okay, so I do respect this process of certification, and I don't take for granted that once certified you are all good. The deliberations were fine from Dr. Krishna Gupta's statements of whatever has been happening in West Bengal. Mr. Joydeep Lahiri's precautionary measures, advice on precautionary measures to be taken, Mr. Lahiri's approach to skill building, and lastly, Nirupam's approach to certification and also following the processes. I would like to conclude the session here. Thank you.